Welcome into the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Kyle Ottenheimer, and most importantly, our lovely and talented star of the program, Ken Zalis, who is with us for a Wednesday edition of the show, as we will be enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday, and you need to make some quicker decisions than you typically have to this week, as games start just after noon tomorrow, although hopefully you're not terribly affected by the first game tomorrow. Not a great one for you to have a lot of fantasy implications for. KZ, what's going on, bud? How are you?
I'm good. How's everything going today?
Everything is all right. It's an interesting week in that, like, you're excited because you don't have to deal with bye weeks anymore.
Yay!
But
everybody's hurt, though. So
yeah, everybody's hurt, and it's the final week of the regular season.
Right.
So,
it's
like, great. We got everybody back from bye. I'm already eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We have everybody at our disposal, but then you have the three Thanksgiving games where, you know, a lot of guys you come off of and you don't know they're not going to practice. Like Julio Jones is a perfect example. You know, he plays Thursday night, but it's like we knew he wasn't going to practice because he came out with the shoulder injury, so you really have no idea. Luckily, I mean, you have ample time to, like, pick people up if he's out.
Right, there's plenty of options.
But at the same time,
but you also have to make room in your Thanksgiving day to be checking about Julio Jones.
Exactly. You have to remember while you're having dinner.
Right.
Oh, I need to check my fantasy lineup.
Right. While you're screaming with your in-laws about politics.
Exactly.
And drunk
politics as usual.
I don't know if that's a thing. Look, this is what it is. It's the final week of the regular season. You got to do what you got to do to get in, man.
You got to do what you got to do. Hopefully, you have already have your playoff spot clinched. But if you don't, as I'm fighting in a couple of leagues, I need to win and
maybe some help.
Yep. In a couple of situations, you do what you got to do. One league, I literally do not have a quarterback.
That's not great. One league I'm in. We'll get to me. You know what? I'll save that. We'll get to me later on. Let's talk about some of the big storylines of the week. We begin with one you mentioned for tomorrow, the Julio Jones situation, but another storyline in that game, the return of Devontae Freeman.
Yes.
What do we make about that?
One good before he left. You know, it is what it is. I would guess when I'm done these final rankings, he's probably low at best, running back 2, running back 3-ish.
Okay.
For me,
well, that does still smell like a flex option.
It's a flex option.
Of course, it wouldn't be a flex because he's playing on Thursday.
You would have to put him in your lineup. But I look at where the bottom of, we're starting to get into. He's competing with the Kenyon Drakes, the Bo Scarborough, the disappointing Sony Michel, Carlos Hyde-ish type people. Probably going to wind up running back 3 for me when it's all said and done. So, he's flex-ish, which means you have to start him. And, the problem with him is he hasn't been good. He wasn't good before he left. But, if you have injuries, the Brian Hill thing just blew up on everybody's face and didn't work. So,
right.
So you're not worried about, at least you're not worried about his backup showing well and saying, oh, well, he's still going to be involved.
Yeah, we're going to split things up a little bit.
We're still not going to be involved. No, I mean, he's going to get all the touches. It's a decent enough matchup, and you use them if you have to.
The situations both in, by the way, a lot of us not so thrilled with you about the Indianapolis thing.
You literally lost me on matchup last week, Casey.
Thanks a lot.
And it would have been real peachy.
Plus, you said it was going to snow, and I plan on getting drunk and not going to work. I'm comparing you to a weather person. I'm doing that.
Look, I cannot see the difference between me and a weather person is I actually went with facts and didn't just guess at it.
Well, your facts.
My facts sucked. Now, it just...
Thanks a lot, KZ.
I can't help when the Indianapolis people out of Indianapolis say to me, well, Jordan Wilkins is going to be active and involved. Okay, well, it did not work out.
So
I got a 0 in one league because I started Jordan Wilkins, so if it makes you feel any better.
What do we now do?
Well, you played in 50 leagues, so it doesn't.
What do we now do?
16.
Is it all aboard with Jonathan Williams?
Yeah, it is now. I mean, this could totally backfire on all of us. Again?
Don't worry, I dropped him last week.
Well, that's okay.
Yep, so did I.
Now, for the record, I didn't really say to drop him.
You did. You specifically told me to drop him.
I said if it was a choice between him and
now, in fairness,
yeah,
you told me to drop him so I could pick up Baker Mayfield,
which worked out well.
That was fine. Baker Mayfield was very good for the week, but it would have still been nice to have Jonathan Williams.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have had Baker Mayfield for that week.
I might have lost, by the way, if I had played Tom Brady instead of Baker.
There you
Mayfield.
go. You would have lost. Yeah, that was a huge difference. Yeah. Look, this could blow up in our face because Jordan Wilkins was active last week, and you got to figure he was active because he was in an emergency situation, and he's 1 week healthier. Who knows? But it looks like they want to run the ball so much they ran the ball when they shouldn't have been running the ball, and it cost them the football game. So, I guess it's all aboard with him.
Same question regarding Bo Scarbrough in Detroit.
Yeah, that's definitely all aboard with him. He's the guy. I don't love the matchup. Tread lightly, but he's going to get his, 15 to 20 touches. He's it's not. There's nobody else that can run the ball there. It's Ty Johnson. They don't see as a guy like that. They don't see McKissick as a guy like that. So it's all aboard with him. And if you were going to ask me the third guy, it's all aboard this week with Benny Snell as well. He's the guy. Jalen Samuels is a PPR guy. Sort of like James White. Boy, was he a pain in the neck butt last week. But he's that pass catching guy, and
So you're saying they're both options?
I think in a PPR, Samuels is still an option. I think in a half PPR or a standard, Benny Snell is definitely an option if they're going to run the ball 20 times a game.
Okay, so you would be considering both of those guys at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I have Bell. I mean, I have a Snell as the bottom of an RB2 situation, a half-point PPR. I have Jalen Samuels as a flex guy. So but if you need to, I'm using Snell over in all formats. I'm using Snell over Samuels.
If you drop N'Keal Harry and pick up Snell, I wouldn't be playing him this week.
Probably because at this point in the season, I like to have running backs on my roster, even if I don't need them, so nobody else can get them. So, yes, because I know Harry caught the touchdown last week. But
by the way, he outperformed both T.Y. Hilton and Tyler Lockett last week. Felt really great about that.
Well, but one catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. He also had two literally go through his hands. So I don't know if he's garnered the trust when he's caught 1 out of 3 targets from Tom Brady. Actually, the kid Myers, who I was really high on pre-draft, I actually like him as a receiver over Harry if you have to have one right now. But yeah, I right now all running backs that are direct handcuffs and starters should be owned in all leagues.
Today's Pressbox Fantasy Football Show is brought to you by Smythe Jewelers. She's a perfect fit, your fantasy draft pick of all time. But can you close the deal? The answer is yes when you propose with an engagement ring hand-selected by the coaches at Smythe. Smythe Jewelers let the end zone dance commence. And since I brought up T.Y. Hilton, who... It's not as if they didn't try to go to him a little bit more last Thursday.
He dropped 3 balls.
Yeah, right?
I mean, he catches those 3 balls, and 3 catches for 50 yards turns into 6 catches for 80 yards, and we're all like, okay, he didn't score, but in a PPR we're 14, and a half PPR we're 11. And
so we're not apprehensive about T.Y. Hilton still.
Look, again, one of those guys, he's one of those guys, he's like Tyreek Hill for me a little bit. If he's active in any week, you kind of got to go with him and play him. He was still the most targeted wide receiver. They just lost Ebron to IR, so there's more targets. They're not all going to go to Jack Doyle like everybody's predicting. Pascal has been terrible.
Mo Alley Cox, babe.
Mo Alley Cox, I know.
The 2 former college basketball players now because they also got Ross Travis.
Oh, right.
The Penn State kid. So in their tight end room, they have 2 guys. And when I say guys that didn't play football at all.
Right, they're just
were basketball players.
Well, I mean, look, Mo Alley Cox, I talked about him in another location this morning, but he's more of a blocking guy. He's just a red zone guy.
He was standing on the top of Mount Sinai. He was screaming down to anyone who would listen. He would say, "Thou shalt not play Mo Alley Cox on."
Right. But yeah, I mean, he's still the most targeted wide receiver. The thing that bothers me the most about the Colts was what their game plan was last week, and that they just absolutely refused to let Jacoby Brissett throw the ball, which is really strange because Brissett was really, really good,
pretty good, yeah,
for the first half of the year, and they ran to the point where when they needed to move the ball downfield, they were more comfortable with taking the chance of 3rd and long and finally throwing it than throwing it early. So that's a little bit of a concern. But if he's active, he's still a wide receiver 2 for me.
And then let's talk generically about quarterbacks because, like, I just made that joke about the Baker Mayfield thing, but we're in this weird world where, like, the Ryan Tannehills of the world, the Sam Darnolds of the world, like, these could be the guys that you're playing the rest of the season and could be the difference in, like, winning you championships.
No, look, I've been on the table with Sam Darnold for about a month now, telling everybody weeks 10 through 14 get no better than any other quarterback in fantasy of who he's playing. And, oh, by the way, in a week where you have to win to get in some places, Sam Darnold gets to play Cincinnati. He's been really, really good. I don't. The Tannehill thing was a little fluky for me. I don't love the matchup against Indy.
So you're saying it's a fluke?
I'm not.
You're not convinced that Tannehill
is going to run 2 touchdowns in every single week? Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that he's not going to run 2 touchdowns in every single week.
Okay, he still had 20 points without 2 touchdowns last week rushing.
Okay, and that's I get that. But 20 touchdowns doesn't put you in the top 5. 20 points doesn't put you in the top 5.
Average 20 over the last 5.
I'm not saying he's not an option. But I'm also saying he's not QB1 material this week.
I picked him up in both leagues to guard other teams from getting.
I picked him up as a backup to my guy for the rest of the way, just because he's being active and who else is on the waiver wire. But I'm not jumping at the opportunity to start him this week. I mean, he is quarterback 20 for me. May move up a little bit because I'm so upset with Derek Carr that I may just want to trash him this week.
Man, what did he do to you? What happened?
Did you see what he did last week in a plus matchup?
He was not
good.
A
plus matchup.
It was not good. You're right.
Horrible.
All right. When we come back in, we will answer your questions. More importantly, we'll answer my questions and Kyle's questions as we will set your lineups. This is the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Ken Zalis in studio. Give us 90 seconds. We'll be right back.
Give me 1 second also.
Oh, of course.
I downloaded it,
be the
show up.
It's okay.
Jesus Christ. Nothing.
It's your world. We're just here.
You know what? You good?
Maybe not.
Yes.
Okay, did you prepare a dance or something?
I did.
Dating was hard, but ring shopping was harder. Settings, cuts, color, we were overwhelmed. Then her friend sent us to Smythe. Total game changer. They took the time to show us the ropes. We left with this perfect ring. She still can't take her eyes off it. I'm actually excited to go back for the wedding bands. But don't tell her I said that.
Why is Smythe Jewelers where Marilyn gets engaged? Our collection is hand-selected and comes with a friendly face to help you find the perfect ring for your perfect partner.
Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where we have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Enjoy $6.99 burgers on Mondays, $5.99 nachos on Thursdays, and drink specials throughout the season to help you cheer on your favorite teams. Come in today and try something new from our seasonal menu. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient.
Back in here on the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show, Ken Zalis in studio in the Live Casino Hotel studio with us. All right, KZ, let's talk. We were just talking about quarterbacks.
Let's talk.
I'm currently carrying all of Mayfield, Brady, and Darnold.
Oh, I'm starting Darnold this week. I'm all in on the Darnold trade. I've been driving it for a week. I got Darnold in my top 8.
This is tough, man. I
played him 2 weeks ago. Felt great.
But this could be the difference to me. Right now, I need a win to protect my first round bye.
Look, I got Brady at 15. I got Baker all the way down at 24. I'm not a
Baker wouldn't be the guy. Now, like, should I? There's no what is there a week where I'd be playing Baker the rest of the season?
I don't really see.
I would hold Baker over Tom Brady.
Brady doesn't. I mean, yes, in a sense, yes, because Baker has some plus matchups coming up,
and the upside is just the ceiling for the offense is higher.
Probably so. outside of this week, I don't love it this week. I like Brady against Houston this week, but I like Darnold over both of them this week for sure.
All right, so here's the deal. I might have to drop somebody. I'm holding the Bills defense, right, for good reason.
Yeah.
I don't love their matchup, right, against the Cowboys, but the options that are out there aren't great either, like the Broncos or the Cardinals or the Colts or the Lions or the...
Yeah, I'm just going to roll with the Bills in that case.
That's okay.
I'm just going to.
And it also prevents me from having to drop anyone else.
I mean, they're a good defense, and anytime you have a good defense and it's a short week like this is, I mean, things happen we've seen so many bad Thursday games over the season where good offenses just struggle and they're ugly. This could be one of those ugly games. I mean, if they stop Zeke, and they have the ability to do that, Amari Cooper's been awful for almost 3 weeks now.
He's been playing hurt, it feels like. For 4 weeks,
but he's always playing hurt.
Correct.
But even if he was healthy, do you like him going up against Tre'Davious White? No. So they're going to be a little limited in what they could do. And I'm just going to roll with the Bills. I'm in a similar situation in the league, and I'm just rolling with the Bills. I mean, I could pick up, the Jets or teams like that. It's like, what am I doing here? They've been the better defense all year.
And you don't want to drop the Bills, right?
You don't want to drop the Bills.
So you're in the spot where you're going to have to drop somebody else.
I have the Bills and the Eagles in many situations this week.
Presuming I'm still going to start Hilton and Lockett as my receivers. So I mean, it's infuriating as they were a week ago. So my flex options are significant. I have Eckler, Golden Tate, Kareem Hunt, Benny Snell, or Miles Sanders.
What kind of league is this?
PPR.
I'm probably going to play Eckler here
over Miles Sanders.
I have him over Miles Sanders right now.
Is Howard not supposed to come back this week?
So Howard, we're doing this on Wednesday.
Right.
Howard is not practicing, so there's some give and take there.
So what you're saying is,
if Howard is out entirely, I'll go Sanders.
Okay.
If Howard's active, I'm going to go Eckler.
Okay, so I'm just waiting.
You're just waiting that
until
game.
I get the answer.
That way.
Is that a 1:00 game on Sunday?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is. So that's the game. So you'll know, and then Eckler's the 4:25 game. So you'll know which way you're going to go. I like both. I mean, they're both 20 to 24. They're both low end running back 2 situations. I'm an Eckler guy. We've talked about this all from the beginning. I thought he always had standalone potential, and he certainly has, even with Gordon getting better and better. Denver's a tough defense, and sometimes tough defenses shut down runs, and then you look to Eckler out of the backfield. But if Howard's out, I'm not worried about Ajayi. That just didn't work at all. So it's Sanders against a good matchup at Miami.
From Chris, needs to start at least one of this group. He's going to give me a flex thing, too. I get it. From the running backs, Singletary, Hyde, Samuels, Geis, Jordan Howard if he plays.
Singletary, that's easy for me.
Okay. Then he says at receiver, need to start at least one of Tyrell Williams, Will Fuller, and Mike Williams.
Wow.
Will Fuller was really good last week.
He was, but he gets, New England.
Their secondary, sure.
Secondary shuts down people. PPR, right?
He did say PPR, yes.
See, I'm the one I'm the most intrigued by.
We also said Golden Tate was an option.
Well, but so here's the thing: if Golden Tate plays, and that's the thing right now, he's the guy. Okay. He hasn't been cleared right now. Then you're looking at Williams or
which Williams?
Tyrell Williams.
Tyrell Williams. Okay.
Or Fuller for me.
So he said now it's all of these options for a flex. So the list would then be, let me try to pull it back up: Will Fuller, Jalen Samuels, Tyrell Williams, Carlos Hyde, Darius Geis, Jordan Howard for a flex.
Anybody on the waiver? God.
I'm going to guess some of these guys were probably available on the waiver wire, and that's why they're options.
I'm gonna go Williams and Fuller.
You're going to go Williams and Fuller.
Yeah. So So if you're going Tyrell Williams as the wide receiver,
okay,
I'm going to play Fuller in my flex.
Okay, but if Golden Tate plays,
then he replaces Fuller.
He replaces Fuller.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? That's on you, man. You're gonna have to pay attention to that.
Yeah,
I
there's
can't
a lot of moving parts there.
Kyle, go ahead while I reset here.
Need to play a receiver. We'll start with this. One out of Cortland Sutton, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup.
Cortland Sutton, Kenny Galladay,
Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup.
Cortland Sutton.
Would you play any of those guys over Miles Sanders at flex if Howard is out?
No.
Would you play the Eagles defense against Miami?
Yes.
I'm not even going to ask. Or the Niners against the Ravens. The answer is the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean it's the Eagles.
And then on my other league, I need a flex out of Emmanuel Sanders, Tyrell Williams, Robbie Anderson, or a Kansas City running back.
Say it again.
Emmanuel Sanders,
who we can't trust right now.
Tyrell Williams, who we can't trust
right now.
A running back from Kansas City, who we can't trust right now.
Which would be McCoy if I had to choose one.
Yeah, but who knows?
I know.
And then Robbie Anderson, who's maybe the best option of the bunch.
He scored 2 weeks in a row. He plays Cincinnati. I may throw that out there. I may throw Robbie Anderson out there as the safest option right now because
I tend to agree, unfortunately.
I mean, he's been such a dud, but I would love for it to be. I mean, you can't use the Sanders thing because of the matchup and because he's been hurt and he hasn't done it.
Slayton on the market would not be higher than Robbie Anderson?
No, Slayton because you got again, Slayton would be more interesting if Tate's out.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a little bit more interesting. But with Shepard back, I still would probably throw Anderson out there. I think he's a little bit of the higher upside with especially the matchup.
I currently have a claim in for the Browns defense.
Okay.
From getting rid of the Raiders after last week's debacle. Browns or Packers?
Packers.
Okay.
Packers.
All right. Catch all the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where they have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports. From Dave, start two of these receivers, Fuller, McLaurin, Mike Williams, Sterling Shepard.
Why does everybody have the same receivers? Everyone has the same receivers.
What's out there, man?
I know. It's McLaurin,
Fuller, Shepard, and Mike Williams.
I know.
Fuller. Okay. Boy, you sound so committed to it.
So those guys, like the highest guy, we're starting at my 31st wide receiver. I mean, we're starting at wide receiver 3, mid-wide receiver 3, and we're starting 2.
From this is also from Dave. Needs two of these backs: Kenyon Drake, Miles Sanders, Singletary, and Jonathan Williams.
Singletary and Jonathan Williams.
Okay. From Paul in Ovilando. I have the Saints D for going into the playoffs. However, I saw online that Miami is actually rated with the best matchups in week 14 through 16. We're not really doing this, are we? We're not really doing this. For the record, he says it's the Jets, Giants, and the Bengals. And they're available in my league. Is it crazy to consider picking them up and to play instead of the Saints defense?
Yes. I get the matchups are good. I honestly do get that. But they haven't put up points all year defensively. So, no. I mean, bad teams are bad, so that just means it's going to be high-scoring games. So,
it's a strong statement from Ken Zalis. Bad teams are bad.
Well, they're bad for a reason. I mean, I'm not putting my fantasy playoffs on the Miami Dolphins defense. I'm just not.
The Saints have stopped good offense.
They have at times. They've also looked poor No, I can't. We can't do this, can we?
I don't think so. You're trying.
Pick
Are you
them
trying
up,
to talk
like,
to your? You're
pick
trying to
them
talk
up
to
so
yourself.
somebody else doesn't.
Whoa, wait
I
a
would
second.
recommend that.
Let's do this.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay. All right. There we go. From Jeff. Jeff says, "Here are my receiver options. I can." He says he needs one. No, he needs two. Tyrell Williams, James Washington, Philip Dorsett, and also available is Robbie Anderson.
Who was the second name you made?
Tyrell Williams, James Washington.
I'm gonna go Washington and
So you go Washington over Anderson?
Anderson.
Oh, he needs two.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did say he needed two.
Oh. Would you go Washington over Anderson?
Yeah,
Really?
he's played really well 2 of the last 3 weeks.
With Duck Hodges?
He caught a touchdown pass from him.
Oof.
There you go. There you go. Now, from Tom. Tom needs 2 running backs: Kareem Hunt, Miles Sanders, Devontae Freeman.
Sanders and Hunt.
Okay, very good. As far as a defense is concerned, Cleveland or Minnesota? That's from Ryan.
I'm probably still going to go. I'm probably going to play Cleveland over Minnesota. I like the Vikings a little bit, but at Seattle is tough.
Right, that's fair.
So I'm probably going to go Cleveland here. I'm not in love with either one, but against Hodges, you got a rookie, although he's played decently when he's had an opportunity, he's never really had the opportunity to really start. So I'll go Cleveland.
Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient.
Let me just say this about Cleveland, and let's just realize, and I know some of the numbers look good for Cleveland, and they've performed well in situations against bad teams, but we do have to understand this is not the same Cleveland defense. They're without their starting safety who tore his Achilles. They're without Myles Garrett, who is their best pass rusher. So I'm just saying, yeah, I like the matchup, but this is not the same Cleveland defense that we have seen. So just tread lightly. I mean, they're not this shutdown defense against bad teams and bad quarterbacks that they were, because I haven't seen this defense play.
Do you have other defense advice for just the playoffs in general?
Well, I mean, I still somehow, and this morning I picked up the Philadelphia Eagles defense in the league.
Okay.
How they're available at this point, I don't know, because we've been talking for 3 weeks about what their matchups are down the stretch, and the fact that over the past 3 weeks, the issue early on was that they had no pass defense. Well, they got their guys healthy. This is a brand new defense that's pretty
I'm not
good.
scrambling to see if the Eagles are available in any of my leagues.
I'm just telling you, I got them ranked 3rd this week. Okay, their schedule is.
I've been holding them for weeks.
Their schedule is really, really good. I like them. Again, this week, next week, I think the Jets are viable. And then you just play your matchups. I mean, find out who's playing the bad teams. Even someone like Detroit this week, if you're desperate, I'm not totally against it because of how bad the Bears have been so far this year and the short week. If you're desperate and maybe you've been riding the Minnesota Vikings defense all year and you're like, I don't like that matchup, or the Rams, you've been riding them. It's like, they've been exposed by running quarterbacks and they have Arizona this week. I'm not against the Detroit Lions.
Okay. All right. Very good. Anything else we need to know going into this week specifically?
I think let's talk about Philadelphia a little bit. We like Miles Sanders.
Yeah, we don't like Carson Wentz.
Okay, well, we don't even know if Carson Wentz is going to play. We don't know who his receivers are going to be. They cut Jordan Matthews after bringing him back for 2 weeks and say, "Oh yeah, that guy really was."
They're going to
bad.
sign him again in 2 weeks, though. This is the Eagles.
But he's
This
bad. But we knew he was bad. We saw he was bad.
Right.
But you look at what they have there. All the receivers are hurt. JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Look, he's going to be as targeted as any of those other receivers that we've been talking about in that 35 to 45 range. If you have to, I think there are worse options, but that is only if Carson Wentz actually plays football this week, and we don't know today if that's true.
Who's their backup? McCown? Is that who would be playing?
Okay. You're one ahead of me if you know that one.
I think it is. I'm not telling you that with certainty.
You look at quarterbacks this week. For me, Nick Foles is a top 10 option this week against a Tampa Bay defense that is just awful against the pass. I get it. They want to run the ball, but they also have been using Leonard Fournette a lot out of the backfield, which is very nice to see if you're a fantasy owner of Leonard Fournette. I think he's a top 10 option. I have him over guys like Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson this week.
All right, very good. If you did not get your question in, you can tweet at FansFantasy, but keep in mind this is Thanksgiving. Just keep that in mind.
I do my best, but I also list everything that is in my mind
at
PressBoxOnline.com, and you can also get me on Twitter and see all the postings I've done. Like I just posted a Thanksgiving Day only DFS lineup.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Very good. All right, Ken Zalis, appreciate it, sir. We'll be back to a normal schedule next week.
We will.
For the PressBox Fantasy Football Show, as he will be with us on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. next week as we get back to regularly scheduled programming. KZ, appreciate it, pal. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week.
You guys as well. Thank you.
For Ken, don't forget, Friday morning we'll have a podcast version of Glenn Clark Radio for you. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes or wherever it is you get SoundCloud, however you get your podcasts. But we will see you then. Happy Thanksgiving. This has been the PressBox Fantasy Football Show.